With exception to the Horn of Africa, it is the hottest place I've ever been. Hey, what's shaking, Warfighter Nation? Ron here with Warfighter Ranch and Isaiah 6'8". Today's PARACORD countdown on the road to serving 20,000 warfighters is number 27. This week is all about Ramadi Bros. What's Ramadi Bros, you ask? Great question. Ramadi Bros is something that Ryan Lanta and I created, and it's become so much more than a hashtag to unite warfighters who served in the Al Anbar province all throughout the Iraq War. So we took our tactical logo for our ministry and turned it into a Ramadi Bros logo to give people something to identify with. And it has since traveled throughout the Warfighter Nation. Two things got me through that tour in Ramadi. Two things. That would be Jesus Christ and John Simmons. It was his first combat tour, my last. I got to the 1st Infantry Division, the Big Red 1, 1st Brigade, Devil Brigade, at Fort Riley, Kansas, about 5 days before the battalion deployed. I had in-processed Fort Riley with a bunch of guys, a bunch of other NCOs, including Matt Papke, who just PCS'd to Riley there to us from 173rd, and he had jumped into Iraq already. So jealous of that mustard stain. We wound up camping out in Baghdad for a few days when we first got there, and then we hooked up with this Chinook to take us to Ramadi, and as we took off, you know, in the green zone, the aircraft immediately got painted, and alarms started going off, and bells and whistles started going off. The gunner off the back seat starts, getting his stuff ready, and everybody is puckered. False alarm, thank God, nothing happened, and we got to Ramadi, and the first guy I met was PV2 Jonathan Simmons. John would go on to become my assistant squad leader, and I watched him grow exponentially during that tour into a natural leadership position. He was born for it. He was that guy, if you will. Still is. One day our vehicle gets hit with an IED, and John takes some kind of shrapnel in his eye, and the windshield's busted up and everything. He drove 2 clicks to get us out of the kill zone with one eye, and his weapon pointed out the window while he was driving. When we got out to treat him, a couple clicks out, the medic is holding up an IV bag trying to irrigate his eye with one eye, and John's on one knee trying to look through his iron sights with his good eye. It was amazing to see. It was amazing to watch him and so many other soldiers develop over the years, but John really hit it out of the park. John would go on to be assigned to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, go to jump school, become a jump master, become an instructor at the NCO Academy, and known throughout Fort Bragg and 18th Airborne Corps. During the Arab Spring of 2004, we headed out on a convoy going to Anaconda, trying to get to Anaconda. It had been ambushed every time before, every unit that tried. So we go through, and of course we get ambushed, and there was a vehicle disabled, Nick Johnson's vehicle, my fellow squad leader, and I'll never forget, I said, I'm coming. I broke all radio, everything. I said, I'm coming for you, Nick. And when we got close, Nick was on the radio and he's like, I was never so happy to see a white man in my life. It was hilarious in the delirium of that fog. And it still is. But who drove through the gunfire? John Simmons. John Eason was up on the 50, doing an amazing job paving the road up on that berm line. And Zhao with his 240, that little Chinese guy, I don't know what he'd do without a belt of ammo around him. You know, we often make jokes and talk about the driver position throughout the different career fields, but I will tell you this. A good driver is the difference between life and death in a combat zone. If I felt it through the vehicle, felt the road, got a weird feeling, John reacted to it with absolute fluidity. He was absolutely able to read me, and we could communicate without even speaking. The first piece in this week's lineup of our Ramadi Bros collection is, of course, for you, John. Still at Bragg, still banging out troops, jumping out of airplanes and fighting for freedom and justice. John, we love you. We still miss you. And we're so proud of you. And what an amazing father you've been to all those babies.
Yes, we love you very much still. We think of you every day, John. Don't ever doubt our love for you.
Absolutely. And for real, how did Omari get so big? What are you feeding that kid?
Really?
Anyone can time us. What we do here is the art of spiritual warfare.
Next mission, time now.
Smoke Vet 6. This is Smoke Jumper 7. Roger that. Next mission, time now.